And Driver 11's 2021 campaign is off to a hot start. Here's his stage finishes so far this year. In the Daytona 500, he was first, and fifth. Then on the road course, he finished third, first, and third in the stages. Not too shabby for Driver 11. And now we do welcome in Denny Hamlin to the RaceHub show here on this Thursday. Denny, thanks so much for taking some time for us today. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, so I was just saying, what a great start you've had to the season. 2 top 5s in the first 2 races. What is attributed to the hot start for you and your team, you think?
Well, we've really been running well over the last 24 months, and that trend's just continued. It usually takes a little while for me to get in the swing of the season, but really my communication with Chris is so good, and we've got such a great process that honestly, things are seamless, and we feel like we're just kind of picking up where we left off.
Hey, Denny, based on your finishes and all the success you've had at Daytona, I'm sure you just wish that you kept racing at Daytona, but you're not going too far, just down the road in Florida. How's your team compared to your team last year? Do you think you're as good as you were a year ago, or better, a little worse? Where do you think that 11 team stands?
Yeah, I mean, so far the results have been good. We're not in the heart or the chunk of our season quite yet. We've been on 2 very different racetracks, and road course and a super speedway, which, if you add them all up, it's like, a third of our total season. The other 2/3 are your short tracks and your intermediates, where that's where you really got to win your championships. So we'll find out a little bit more where we stand this week at Homestead. Certainly love Daytona. Been in that victory lane many, many times in different series and cars, different races. But and Florida has been good for me in general. But I feel like I'm pretty confident. We're in a good position. We're not coming from behind. There's nothing worse than starting off a season, chasing points. So feel pretty good about it.
So, Denny, you're starting your 3rd year with crew chief Chris Gabehart, and I want you to let me know what the one thing that he does as a crew chief that stands out to you, whether it's for you or specifically for the race team.
My biggest thing I'd say with him is he holds everyone accountable. Even myself. He was a rookie crew chief. I was a veteran driver, and it's very easy to get lulled into saying, okay, well, he's got more experience, so let him, whatever he's been comfortable with, I'm good with. He's implemented the system. It's up for me to be the quarterback and run that system. He's the head coach. So it may not always be the same system I've been used to, but, when you have a new offensive coordinator in there, you're running the plays that he calls. And so that's the good working relationship that we have.
And so far, it's been a very solid pairing of driver and crew chief. Now I want to shift gears to the race this weekend. You have a really cool paint scheme. You can see it here with us debuting. What can you tell us about this paint scheme you got?
Yeah, you don't see a different paint scheme on the 11 FedEx car very often, but it's been part of a small business grant contest. You can go up until March 9th to FedEx.com/grant contest, but they're giving back to the local businesses. We have access tracks that's going to be on the back of our car. They were one of the winners last year of the $50,000 grant contest. And so it encouraged people, if you have a small business, go to FedEx.com/grant contest and try to get eligible to get a grant from them. Just part of them giving back to the local communities.
So, Denny, you dominated at Homestead last year. You led 137 laps. Of course, you won the race. How high is your confidence heading back in there, knowing that last year you had gone to some 1.5-mile tracks until right now, but now going into your first one at Homestead? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm anxious. I mean, this is, again, I would say, as most drivers would say, okay, we're going to really find out where we stand now after this weekend. And you really can't put it all on Homestead, because that's one of those tracks where you can miss the setup, and it isn't necessarily totally indicative of where your actual program is. But if you're fast and your car is handling well, you know that, okay, we're in for a good season, or at least the first part of our season. So we're hoping to have a good result. Obviously, I'm very confident going there, knowing that our setup was very, very good last year. We're gonna do a lot of the same things, and hopefully have a even better result now that we're starting on the pole, which is a great indication of where we were last week.
Hey, Denny, I want to ask you about your balancing act. As a driver of the FedEx Camry, you have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things to do on that side, and then being a co-owner of the 2311 Racing. You know, what's that been like the first few weeks of the season, and how are you balancing the time commitments between those two teams?
Yeah, I mean, I've just tried to, really schedule things. I designate my Sundays and my Mondays to my 11 car. That's really my focus of how can I get better as a race driver? What can our team do to get better? As we shift to Tuesday and Wednesday, that's where I shift most of my focus over to 2311. A lot of questions get asked how they can be better. What information can I give them that might be helpful either from the previous week or in the future to the week coming up. So I'll spend 2 days kind of working on that, going over with management, things that we've got to address. And then as we get to Thursday, it's kind of a mix of both. I'm just kind of answering emails, answering texts from both sides. And that's kind of a slow day for me anyway. And then Friday, I kind of shift back over to the 11 car. Saturday's the 11 car where I'm starting to prepare for the weekend. And then Sunday, obviously, going to race.
It's a very impressive balancing act you got there, Denny, because you also wear another hat because you're a father of two adorable girls who I saw were with you in Daytona for the first time in a while. And Molly was making the pick, so to speak. I love this photo that you posted on social media. Kids, what do you know? I mean, they just picked their nose, right? Was it nice having them back, though?
Oh, so awesome to have them back at the racetrack. And they hadn't been, with me for a year at a racetrack, but I've got some great pictures of them. They got to go up in the suite and hang out with Michael Jordan. He's throwing Molly up in the air, and my mom's got great pics of that, and it's just unforgettable for them because my oldest Taylor asked me about every other week. So, are you sure you know Michael Jordan? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So to lose her and for her to get to experience it was awesome. She had something to go back and tell her friends.
Well, Denny, you're officially the coolest dad, I must say. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. And best of luck to you, of course, in a few days out in Miami.
All right. Thank you.
For more great NASCAR on Fox content, subscribe to our channel. It's somewhere right around here.